we stand in a very poor position to make headway whenever we are heading for major competition. We'll not be running helter-skelter to look for the talent, because we have them already. So for me, first off, it's about unearthing new talent. It's about giving the right platform to also express their talent, which is for me very key. When we talk about the Olympic Games, many times we are quick to mention the likes of Britain, United States of America, China, but then we forget to ask what they do differently away from other countries that makes them so effective that whenever you get to any major competition, they tend to be among the top 5 in the table. They just shuffle the position. It's about long-term planning, and this is for me what we should start doing.
So are you saying that the big names like Eso Gunkule, Paralympian, or Babzwe, do not add value except for the fact that we needed to channel talent?
Of course they will, but aside of these two names that you mentioned, are they the only two people that is going to carry the burden of Nigeria whenever we're heading for major tournaments? So of course, it is also good that we are having some of the notable name, which is just, but then we still need to invest, or to comb the area so as to get more new talent, because we are having Ogunkule and the rest. What if we have another Ogunkule, maybe more like 3 or 4 Ogunkule? We stand in very,
from 21 states across with 67, clubs coming to this particular one. I'm just looking how far this way.
The Director General of Sport, if you take a look at their body language so far, it's tilted towards revamping the alien nature of sports, right here in the country. Although they've been making very bold statements every now and then.
Yeah.
But of course, if you take a look at some of the action taken so far, you can actually see that they are heading toward the right direction. You could also record a few days ago, the under 19 female yellow greens that is taking part in the World Cup. Just a few days ago, they were given the sum of $5,000 as a means of trying to use it to encourage them going forward. So you take a look at these good gestures being implemented so far by the Shehu Diko and Olakpade. You could also bank on them to also deliver when it matters most. So for me, I think it's about doing the needful, having the right people at the right end of affair, doing the right thing, because sometimes you might have the right people at the end of affair doing the wrong things.
Okay.
So for me, that is it.
All right, similarly, Bose Odusanya and News Adegoke have all expressed confidence to retain their titles in both the women and the men's singles category at the 56th edition of the Molade Okoya Thomas Hall of the Testing Stadium. So all this we pan out today. And one thing, lastly, before we leave the shores of for Nigeria, you look at the fact that this is the first time we're going to have this nationally, so the expectations are high. But how would this?
It will always add good value if you can be able to maintain consistency. Having it more like a one-off show will yield the needed result for me.
So invariably, hosting it this year, next year, make it open. Over the weekend I saw, as we're talking about the Australian Open, I saw what transpired in the 1970s when there was a major. Nigeria was one of the places where we saw tennis was posted as one of the Nigeria. That means at that time we didn't have good facilities as compared to now. So more like have an open door for others to come in other countries, very easy to make it hub, like what is happening in cricket even.
Definitely, but then before that we need to also take a look at the way of keeping data.
Okay, yeah.
Because that is another major challenge.
Now
you talked about we some time ago being a hub of sports cities where other countries also come here to also exhibit their talent. You could also recall that in the late 40s, 50s, European club side also come here to play friendly games with things like stationary stores.
True.
But those things, they were not properly documented. So for me, I think proper record keeping can also go a whole long way. To keep memories of these things, so that in time to come we can also flash back.
But what does record keeping does if you do not incremental growth over the years in terms of facilities. So if there were facilities that attracted them to come, or there was a structure on ground that attracted them to come, then you now ask yourself, 50 years ago, and what is happening now? Shouldn't we even grow better than what we see now?
We can also use it as a prototype. Proper record helps you to keep it as a prototype to also show to the people in future that this is
what we had as our then.
And what happened, what led to the good infrastructural development that we had then. These are the people that were the aims of affair, and this is how they were running the show, and that made it possible for us to have such infrastructural facilities. And for me, it will serve as a morale booster for them to take a cue from what happened in the past. But if we don't have a proper record so that we can flash back and say, okay, this is what we used to have, then how do you expect the jet age in their own time, be able to do the right thing?
Okay. Well, we're looking at the National Tennis Championship, and of course, thinking how Nigeria can use this as, as a tool to broaden the frontier of sporting activities in the country. And trust me, Malam Shehu Diko and his colleague Olapade, they need to start digging deep, starting from this Thomas Okoya Championship. Away from that, let's talk about the big one that transpired over the weekend. Of course, finally, the first Grand Slam of the season, the Australian Open, has come and gone, and I can tell you for sure that Yannick Sinner is the name on the lips of many for the right season, because he came top in the men's singles, and he made winner of that particular one, getting past dominant German player Alexander Zverev in a fantastic fashion. 3-set win there for the Italian, and that shows class. And a lot of questions begging for answers. So first of all, let's start with all that has happened, and let's talk about how far they can go. One thing, defeating Zverev in the finals shows class and tells the potentials of this young man.
Of course, I think I will actually buttress on this prowess of Yannick Sinner over the past 48 hours right now, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's no gainsaying that Yannick Sinner is the best player in the world as it is right now. If you take a look at his points ranking, you take a look at what he's been able to achieve. In fact, last year was more like a breakout season for him. But then he never took his foot off the pedal. He continued to press so hard because he wanted to get to the top. And of course, now that you are at the top, it is very easy, for you to head to the top. But remaining at the top is always very difficult. So then the next question in my own mind would be, can he be able to stay at that top for a quite long time? Because we have other name that will be coming up to give him a run for his money. We understand he's in a very fantastic form right now, but then consistency, can he be able to maintain consistency? That's another big question. But for me, I think it was an impressive display for Yannick Sinner. Impressive display for Yannick Sinner, but same cannot be said of Aryna Sabalenka, the Belarusian, who many expected, to get her hands on that particular coveted trophy for at least the third time on a bounce. But that was not to be seen, because she was shattered basically by the American tennis player, 29-year-old Madison Keys. She was really very mad on that day, getting her hands on a particular one. But away from that, now let's also tell you that the doubles has also been ended, and we saw the winners emerge, the Armchair Championship and the roller. But Mike, lastly, one area we can't forget is last now who chopped last, and that's the fact that these guys truly got their hands on the money. Before the game, we talked about the amount of money involved in this thing. It was into trillions, billions. For example, the winner of the singles got that to one thing, that whatever sporting activity you find your young ones taking part in, you don't need to discourage them. I understand that these days football seems to be the main thing because of the humongous amount of money that comes with football. Just hearing that weekly there are some players that earn as much as £500,000 a week. Players like Erling Haaland, the highest paid player in the English Premier League right now, and £500,000 a week. I mean, a week, not a month, not a year. And so even those of them plying their trade in the lower division, maybe call it like the championship or even the second division, they still earn as much as £30,000-50,000 a week. So the focus or attention of so many guardians and parents right now is, let him go and play football. Let him go and play football just because there is a huge amount of, but also forgetting that there are other sports that is relatively unknown in this part of the climb. But then there's a whole lot of money in it as well. Tennis is not that popular in this part of the clan, but then we are seeing them making huge fortune for themselves. I think the only player that you can say, okay, oh, he's doing African proud is the Egyptian. I'm talking about Onjobwa. And you take a look at what whenever she take part in any major tournament, if not winning the tournament alone, but taking part in that tournament, of course, you go home with something huge, which comes in dollars, in pounds. So for me, I actually advise parents to, encourage their kid, to learn how to play tennis and not just football alone, because everybody cannot play football and everybody must not be a football fan. There are other sporting activities that is very lucrative that you can also venture out there and make a good money for yourself.
Of course, a very lucrative ventures. I can tell you, and sports is a bigger lucrative environment if you really want to, train your child and ensure that they grow. Because I tell you, the amount of money do that from sports. Wow, just take a trial. A trial will truly convince you. We're going to short break now. We'll come back. We'll talk about how Eyimba Football Club lost today at the Kwara Sports Complex and all that transpired over the weekend in Nigeria football. Not also forgetting that the talking point is focused on Tottenham Hotspur, and we're asking, why are they struggling? Who's responsible for the struggle in Tottenham Hotspur? Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back from that break. If you're just joining us, it's a place to be. This is Sports Extraordinary here on Atlantic Television Network, where we're taking you through the drills. From that, let's take to what we saw as the circumstances that kicked off on Saturday. Aqua United lost 1-2, ended in favor of Remo Stars. Heartland, yes, got 9 players, signed 9 players in the mid-season break, and they were able to get past Lobby Stars. Plateau United Rivers United at the New George Stadium 2-1 it ended. Rangers lost at the Cathedral, surprisingly. Stars defeated the Korodu City in a 7-goal thriller there. Nasarawa United, the Solid Miners, mined Katsina United at the Lafayette City Stadium, and Abia Warriors were 1 better off than Bayelsa United. Let's move away and let's talk about something that will come up in the next couple of, in the next 1 hour, or let's say in the next few minutes from now. It will be the African Cup of Nations draw there in Morocco, and I can tell you that the event starts 7 p.m. tonight. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, yes, we know the fold today as they plan to prosecute the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. Mike, we already know the group we are in Port 4, and all talk has been around the Port B, because that looks like where the guns are, and one of them definitely will be in our group. We have the likes of the big teams seated in that one, and I'm just thinking, like we're going to avoid South Africa, will it be Cameroon? I'm just thinking the teams that we're going to avoid in this particular one.
For me, basically, I think if you want to be a champion, you need to be the best of the best in order for you to become a champion. There's, avoid any team. And of course, even if you are not seeded in Port A, you are seeded in Port B, Port 1, that is unscripted. Sometimes you can never judge a team. Yeah, exactly. maybe some team are better ranked more than you and all of that. You think because of the ranking
and then you want to get something.
Ranking for me is just artificial. It's deceitful. But I just pray that you know, we get any team and prepare seriously. Whichever team that comes our way, we should be in for it, because of course we are no pushovers as well. We call ourselves Giant of Africa. We should be able to replicate that giant man in us whenever, you know, the hostility gets on. So
8 p.m. today, it will be live. We'll get to see the group that Nigeria will be. And one thing very outstanding is that we hear that Morocco, they have submitted 6 cities, 9 stadia, you know, to host the African Cup of Nations this year. It promises to be a lovely one.